It is a beautiful day for baseball here at Bradner Stadium in Olean, New York, as the 15-6 Jamestown Tarp Skunks head in to take on the hometown Olean Oilers, coming in with a record of 10-10. Hello again and welcome to another Tarp Skunks baseball broadcast. I'm Dre Guinness alongside Jalen Ferguson and Jalen. It's already been one of those days. Incredible weekend of Tarp Skunks baseball with an incredible win Saturday against the Niagara Falls Americans at Dietrich Park, and then going on the road and sweeping both ends of a doubleheader against the Auburn Double Days.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have autographs a little bit later on this evening over in the tent in left field, starting at 7 o'clock and running to 7:30. You can get autographs from your favorites.
You know, let's go back to one of the things that we'd been talking about the Tarp Skunks, one of the kind of glaring issues that the Skunks had, and that is their inconsistency at pitching. Over the last 3 games, absolutely locked down. It all started all the way back on Saturday when Ryan Tatar and Aiden Rose from the Niagara Falls Americans went head-to-head in a heavyweight clash. Ryan Tatar going 7 innings, picking up the win, 6 hits, 1 run earned, 4 walks, 5 struckouts on over 100 pitches in that game. I think it was 107 in that game for him. And then we flip it over to the first game of the doubleheader. Eli Bryant comes out, his third appearance on the season, pitches 4 innings, gives up 5 runs, 3 hits, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 struck out, and set the door for Colin Pence to throw 3 innings, 3-hit baseball, and Chase Barron to lock the door. After going into the 8th inning, Paul Delanto with an RBI triple to knock home the ghost runner to start the inning, and then followed up by Nolan Smith making his return to the Jamestown Tarp Skunks and putting one over the right field wall in no doubt fashion.
On third base, number 6, Eric Weeks. The designated hitter, number 14, Nolan Smith. The extra hitter, number 4, Paul Delanto. Right fielder, number 44, Nate Muncie.
Originally, our middle relievers are going to
Second baseman, number 1, Tito Kiefer.
starting pitching rotation as we have
The catcher, number 32, Keith.
Yeah, and Cam Churchill making a couple appearances over the weekend in Game 2, the 12-0 win. Mercy rule over Auburn in 6 innings. Pitched an inning of absolutely perfect baseball. No problems there. So he is going to get the start. And we're going to kind of see a little bit of the next man up mentality. But yeah, Joe Santos, 3 innings of 5-hit baseball, walked 1, struck out 2, gave up no runs. Joe Riedebach. Yeah, gave up no runs in that ball game. And so now he's going to get a chance to start here. It's going to be an interesting day for Tarp Skunks baseball. Little bit different of the starting lineups. And one of the things that I was looking at as getting ready for tonight's game tonight is noticing that the Jamestown Tarp Skunks come in leading the league in steals. Number 1 in the league with 100 steals on the season.
The extra hitter from Mercyhurst, number 23, Derek Stout.
I mean, players like Eric Weeks, players
The first baseman from Stonehill, number 32, Kenny Martin.
Players who get on base. Grant Moore, another one, just to name a
The right fielder from William and Mary, number 34, Cooper Tarley.
really attack on all cylinders.
The other thing that I've been noticing, too, is that Again, we talked about it early in the season. There were a couple of guys that started off a little bit slow, maybe struggled out of the gate a little bit, but those batting averages are starting to come up, namely C.J. Dugan, Caleb Jordan, Heath Fetchick, Nate Muncy, J.R.C., Anthony Trummer. Trummer, he had been floating around 130, 140 for a while. Now I look at his batting average. He comes in batting 286 on the season. So, it's not a lot of guys that are going to grab the headlines and draw the attention to them. It's pretty much a team effort being built this season.
And starting on the mound from Felician, number 65, Chris Lyetta.
Top and bottom of this
The Oilers are managed by Mike Freehouse. He is assisted by Eric Hemphill, John Dry.
It is going to be an interesting ball game. Both teams coming in on a 3-game winning streak. And we're going to step away for the playing of the national anthem. We'll be back with the starting lineups in the first pitch in just a moment.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, we are set for baseball here from Bradner Stadium here in Olean, New York. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineup. First, for the visiting Jamestown Tarp Skunks, leading off in center field is going to be Grant Moore. Batting second at third base is Eric Weeks. Nolan Smith, the designated hitter, will bat third. Paul Delanto will bat cleanup and be the extra hitter. In right field, Nate Muncy will bat fifth. Tito Kiefer will bat sixth at second base. Heath Fetchick behind the dish will bat seventh. Batting eighth, James Dixon at the shortstop position. JRC at first base will bat ninth. And CJ Dugan will be in left field. They will face the Olean Oilers starting pitcher, Chris Lyetta. He's made one appearance on the season, he's thrown 3 innings of work, no record, no ERA. He's given up a hit, 4 strikeouts in 10 at-bats. So not a lot of experience in the PGCBL stat line. We'll see how the Tarp Skunks are going to be able to manage that. Defensively, for the Olean Oilers, it's going to be, or for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Let's see, I'm used to doing the home games. For the home Olean Oilers, it's going to be Willard, Fournier, and Tartley from left to right. Coburn, Williams, Bates, and Martin from third to first. Smith behind the dish, and Lyetta on the mound. He is going to be facing 1, 2, 3 for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Grant Moore, Eric Weeks, and Nolan Smith to start it off here. Next time that we will have the privilege of being with you for Tarp Skunks baseball is going to be tomorrow. We'll be in Batavia as the Jamestown Tarp Skunks go in to Dwyer Stadium looking to even up the season series with the Batavia Muck Dogs at 2 apiece. As you hear the play ball, and Grant Moore stands in to lead it off here. Grant Moore coming in, batting average at .338 on the season. Home run, 11 RBIs. As Laeta comes set, kicks and throws. And the first pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0. No, did it? All right, well, the hit by pitch. And a leadoff base runner for Eric Weeks. We talked about the stolen bases for the Tarp Skunks. Grant Moore on that list. First pitch taken for a strike. Count goes 0-1. For Eric Weeks, 394 with a home run, 22 RBIs. Leads the Tarp Skunks in that regard. Grant Moore with 14 stolen bags. And the 0-1 misses 2 weeks. Oh, late call on that. 0-2. So now Laeta trying to get past the leadoff hit by pitch to Moore. 0-2 to Weeks. Swing and a miss. And Weeks goes down. So with 1 out, that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Nolan Smith. Smith making his return to the Tarp Skunks yesterday, or make that Sunday, as he takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Proceeded to hit a 8th inning, no doubt about it, home run in Auburn. 1 for 6 so far on the season, and Laeta has been dancing around the strike zone. Now quickly 0-2 to Nolan Smith. Checks Moore at second. Now comes set. And that one comes in and hits Smith as Grant Moore had taken off on the pitch. And so 2 hit by pitches. 2 free bases given up by Laeta, and that's going to bring up Paul Delanto. And the last time Delanto was here with runners on, he cleared the bags with 1 swing of the bat, going oppo taco to right field for a grand slam. That was in Game 2 of the 2026 season. So now runners at first and second. First pitch up to Delanto for a ball, 1-0. Nate Muncy on deck. For Delanto coming in, batting .250 on the season. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. Leads the team in home runs with 2. Moore taking a long lead off a second. Smith, not so much at first. And as that pitch taken for a strike, count goes 1-2 on the Tarp Skunks extra hitter. So now Laeta checking Moore at second, kicks and throws. That one called strike 3. Delonto not sure about that call. Called out looking, and with 2 downs, that's going to bring up Nate Muncy. So Muncy, left-handed hitter, stands in. Leota kicks and throws. That one gets behind the catcher Smith all the way to the backstop. And that hit him. That was a little late call on that one. So, communication issue with the home plate umpire. 3 hit by pitch here in the top of the first inning. This is an odd inning. Hit by pitch, strikeout, hit by pitch, strikeout, hit by pitch. And that's going to bring up Tito Kiefer. And the first pitch to Kiefer, down low for a ball, 1-0. .87 degrees, mostly sunny skies, few scattered clouds. Absolutely gorgeous day. The pitch misses for a ball, 2-0. So 2-0 now. Bases full of Skunks. That one's fouled at the plate. Count goes to 2-1. For Tito Kiefer, one of the Tarp Skunks' leading hitters, .390 on the season. He's got 8 RBI. And the pitch. That one taken for a strike. Evens up the count at 2 apiece. Moore off third. Smith off second. Muncy off first. All via hit by pitch. 2-2 to Kiefer. That one low. 3-2. And the runners will be going on the next one. Payoff pitch coming. Leota comes set. Kicks and throws. And that is ball 4. And the Tarp Skunks walk in a run. It's 1-0. See, that's the key to a strong ball club is if the other team's going to give you free bases, being able to cash in on those is paramount as Heath Fetchick stands in. Or still full of Skunks as the first pitch. Swinging, there's a pop-up behind first base. Going back out on it is Martin and being called off by Cooper Tartley near the foul line. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. 1 run on no hits. 3 runners left on base. We go to the bottom of the first inning. It's the Tarp Skunks 1 and the Oilers coming to bat. Bottom of the first inning here at Bradner Stadium. Tarp Skunks with a 1-0 lead. Let's give you the starting lineups for the Olean Oilers. First leading off and playing second base is Thomas Bates. Batting second in center field is Grant Fournier. Derek Stout, the extra hitter, will bat third. Denny Martin will bat cleanup and play first base. The right fielder, Cooper Tarley, will bat fifth. Batting sixth is Aiden Willard, the left fielder. Brady Smith behind the dish will bat seventh. Jack Painter bats eighth at the designated hitter spot. Third baseman Aiden Coburn will bat ninth, and rounding out the starting 10 is Dana Williams at shortstop. They will be facing Camp Churchill, who comes in his ninth appearance with a 3-0 record, 4.41 ERA, 16 in the third innings pitch. He's given up 18 hits, 16 runs, only 8 of those earned, 10 walks, and 10 strikeouts. Give you the defensive linemen for the Tarp Skunks from left to right. It's going to be C.J. Dugan, Grant Moore, Nate Bunsey, Weeks, Dixon, Kiefer, and JRC from third to first. Heath Fetchick behind the dish, and Camp Churchill on the mound. And he is set to face the Olean Oilers leadoff hitter, Thomas Bates. Coming out of the stretch to start off, first pitch low for a ball. And the count goes to 1-0 to the Olean Oilers leadoff hitter, Thomas Bates. Churchill kicks and throws. There's a comebacker. Return to sender right back to Churchill. And quickly, there is one away. Yeah, being able to play your position as well as pitch is very important. And Camp Churchill passes the first test here as the center fielder, Grant Fournier, steps in, two-place hitter. First pitch, called a strike. And 0-1 to Fournier, who now when taken up for a ball 1-1 as Fournier comes in with a 304 average. He's got 7 RBIs on the season, a couple of doubles and a triple. 1-1 facing Camp Churchill on the pitch. There's a high pop-up behind third base. Weeks easily puts it away, and there are 2 away. Well, you also have to realize Churchill's probably on a mid-range pitch count of 60 to 70. And as long as he can keep pitching like this, he might go deep into the ball game. Tino Masson, 5 wins, leads all Tarp Skunks. Churchill with 3. As the first pitch to Derek Stout is a strike, 0-1 to the Olean extra hitter. And the 0-1 fouled straight back, and quickly Churchill ahead 0-2. That's something else, too, that we've seen over the last couple of games is Tarp Skunks pitchers establishing that first pitch strike. Churchill kicks and throws. That one taken just a bit high. That's definitely a temptation pitch. When you throw fastball at the letters just above the zone, you're trying to get him to swing through it. And the 1-2 pitch comes in and hits Stout. So an unfortunate way for the first base runner of the game for Olean to get on against Churchill. as Denny Martin stands in, the cleanup hitter for the Oilers, playing first base today. 278 hitter, has 6 RBIs, no extra base hits at this point. And Churchill is set to go here. Kicks and throws. And the first pitch is a ball. 1-0 the count. 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Skunks with a 1-0 lead. As the 1-0 pitch, runner goes, pitch taken outside, throw down, not in time. And a stolen base. Count 2-0 to Denny Martin. The tying run in scoring position. So now 0-2, kicks and throws. That's a strike, and it's 2-1. Righty versus lefty. And Churchill kicks and throws. That one in the dirt, and the count goes 3-1. Fetchick really does a great job behind the dish, managing the game, the pitch selection. Has that goalie mentality, keeps everything in front of him. The 3-1 pitch on the way. It's taken for a strike, and the count goes full 3-2. So now Churchill checking the runner at second. The payoff pitch, swinging a foul back. And the count remains 3-2. So we'll do the payoff pitch again. Stout taking a decent lead off of second. James Dixon has been paying attention to him. Churchill comes set, the payoff pitch. And a no swing on the appeal. And a walk puts runners at first and second with 2 out. And that's going to bring up Cooper Charlie. So now Cooper Tarley was hit well against the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Stands in, runners at first and second, 2 out. Bottom of the first inning from Bradner Stadium. And Churchill's first pitch fouled away. And it is 0-1. Yeah, very solid defender out and right. Shows a lot of range out there, too. And the 0-1 pitch coming. That one just under the knees, and the count goes 1-1. So 1-0 to Tarley. Runners take their lead. Churchill kicks and throws that one in the dirt. And the count goes 2-1.
That's the thing with Cam Churchill is that he came into the ball game with all the momentum, and then two base runners in with 2 outs, and we have to feel the trouble with something.
Got the first two hitters of the inning quickly as there's a fly ball out into right field. Muncie going back on it. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 2 runners left. We go to the top of the second inning. It's 1-0 Jamestown.
Welcome back here at Bradner Stadium. Tarp Skunks up 1-0 as they get to bat here at the top of the second. Leada here to do his second inning work and here to give you the call of the inning.
All right, thank you very much, Jalen, as Leetta will face Dixon, JRC, and CJ Dugan. 8, 9, 10 due up here for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Skunks scored a run on 3 hit by pitches and a walk by Tito Kiefer. No hits for either team up to this point, so pretty quick first inning of play as we got through that in about 20 minutes or so.
Leading off with the Tarp Skunks, shortstop number 15, James Dixon.
As James Dixon will stand in for the Tarp Skunks. He will lead things off here in the second. Dixon coming in batting 172, but that batting average has come up. Spent a lot of time injured this season, and since he's come back, he's played some spectacular defense over at third. As the first pitch misses for a ball, 1-0. He had a couple of plays on Saturday night that were big league level over there at third to take away some extra bases. They've been getting some hits, so getting that average up, getting some work in. As that one misses outside, and the count goes 2-0. Had a big double the other night, didn't he? Is that one called a strike? And the count goes 2-1. I want to say at some point on Sunday he had a double that drove in a couple of runs. There's a lot of people that contributed on Sunday in both games. As the 2-1, that one misses. Count goes 3-1.
On Sunday, they just attacked on all cylinders in both games. The first game there was looking at extra innings. The second, they struck out now and Mercy.
As the 3-1 pitch, low for a ball, and Dixon draws the leadoff walk.
Now batting for Jamestown, first baseman number 19,
Well, here's the big left-handed first baseman, Joaquin Rodriguez Costa. JRC, who's got his average up to 281 on the season. Monstrous 2-run triple on Sunday. And the first pitch to him is foul back. And the count goes to 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. Count goes 0-2. You know, they've been facing some pretty spectacular pitching as of late, but they've also been putting up spectacular pitching of their own. As that went up and away for a ball 1-2.
Can't help but notice looking how Danny Martin covers the bag first.
That's odd. That pitch misses up 2-2.
When he covers the bag at first, it's almost like he sets the mount.
It's almost like he's a fullback. Lines up at the line, and then boom, turns. Looks like he's ready to take a little 5-yard screen pass. That one called strike 3 to JRC. No argument from him. And JRC goes down for the first out.
Here's the thing, the Tarp Skunks are going to have to just start getting something going here. That is the third strikeout, and the Tarp Skunks are not really that known for being struck out that much.
So CJ Dugan stands in. Dixon off first. Not taking a large lead. And that first pitch up for a ball, 1-0. For CJ Dugan, comes in with a batting average of .205, 11 for 39, 12 RBIs on the season. Got his first extra base hit over the weekend. That one misses for a ball. And the count goes 2-0. Correction, make that 4 extra base hits. Caleb Jordan got his first extra base hit over the weekend. So 2-0. That one way up high, 3-0. And Leda working himself into a little bit of a jam, going 3-0 to Dugan with the top of the order and Grant Moore on deck. Well, that one came in, and that is ball 4, 2 on with 1 out, and that'll bring up Grant Moore for his second at bat of the ball game.
Also, that is his 6th free pass of the game.
And now they're going to call out the trainer, see if might have something going on with his wrist. As Leada started off solid around the strike zone. He did have a couple of pitches that got away from him that ended up hitting some Tarp Skunks, but you know, now he's been a little wild, so whole conversation being had, and the home plate umpire come out to break up the confab at the mound here. It's a kind of a coin flip day. It's an either or. You're either going to walk or strike out, I guess. As it looks like Leada's fine, he's going to stay in the game. And Grant Moore is going to come up, and Leada is going to have to work his way out of some pressure now. As it's Dixon off second, CJ Dugan off first. Grant Moore, the left-hander, stands in. Hit by a pitch and scored back in the first inning. As Leada checks the runner, comes set, kicks and throws. Moore squares around a bunt, pulls it back, but it's called a strike. And the count goes 0-1.
Yeah, when Grant Moore pulls it back the bunt, it's really different. Because sometimes I think he doesn't pull back the bunt, but he does.
So now 0-1. See if he goes back to the square. No, he doesn't swing, and there's a fly ball down the left field line. That one's going to fall just foul by about maybe a foot down that left field line.
Probably a foot and a half. Once again,
Dixon and Dugan had to hold up, so even if that landed, Dixon probably would have been held at third. Just not far enough. But Grant Moore waits. Lieta looks. 0-2 the count. Kicks and throws. And that one is called strike three. Grant Moore watches a pitch over the outside corner. And there are two down, fourth strikeout for Lieta. And that's going to bring up Eric Weeks.
that was the second strikeout the Tarp Skunks went down looking. They got to do something here. But again, Leita's been really hard to beat.
So Eric Weeks now stands in. He struck out his first time up, had a 6-game hitting streak snapped on Sunday. As the first pitch comes in, that was a ball, 1-0. We were talking on Saturday night that I had thought his hitting streak was 5, and up to that point it was, and then he got a base hit to extend it to 6, but snapped on Sunday in game 1. Did not play in game number 2. As an opportunity to drive in a run here as the pitch comes in low and the count 2-0. So now Weeks in the driver's seat, 2-0, hitter's count. We hit his pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1.
That off-speed really froze those leaves.
Might have been looking fastball. And in a 2-0 situation, that's 85% chance that's what's going to get thrown. Not that time. There's a ground ball down the third base line. That is a fair ball. Dixon's going to round third. He will score. Dugan will be held at third. Into second with an RBI double is Eric Weeks. And the Tarp Skunks take a 2-0 lead.
Now that is the hit that she really needed. Now here's what I noticed is that once they hit the outfield, that's a really
Jamestown
bounce in the outfield. They were driving around.
So Nolan Smith now stands in. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. And the pitch. And that hits him again.
If I'm not mistaken, Nolan Smith led the team in hit by pitches last year.
He definitely led the team in walks last year. Set a franchise record in walks, as a matter of fact. And now the bases are loaded, forced full of Skunks. And are we going to get a replacement here? This would have to be, because this would be the second. Yeah, this is the second appearance for the manager. We're going to get a new Olean pitcher here in just a moment. We'll figure out who that is and let you know. 2-0 Tarp Skunks. We'll be right back. New pitcher for the Olean Oilers is going to be number 40, Bryson Hewer. For Hewer, it's his 6th appearance. He comes in with a 1-0 record and a 5.4 ERA. 10 innings pitched, giving up 8 hits, 8 runs, 6 of those earned. 4 walks against 15 strikeouts. And he is going to inherit a jam left by Chris Lieta, who I'm not sure if it was injury or performance. It might have been injury, because the first visit, when the Olean manager went out to the mound, he was pointing to the trainer and pointing at the wrist. So we'll see if he can get out of a 2-out bases loaded jam as Paul Delanto stands in. And the first pitch slung across the plate for a strike. 0-1. Hewer with a bit of a sidearm gunslinging slingshot motion. And the 0-1. That one's fouled back. And the count goes 0-2. You have to wonder if it was some sort of tendon injury in his wrist. 0-2 pitch, just missing. For a ball, count goes 1-2. And the Oiler faithful not quite happy about that call. This is the second time Delanto has come up with runners in scoring position. First time bases loaded since game 2 of the season. As that one's fouled off, and the count stays 1-2. Staying alive, though. Shorten up that swing. Eric Weeks responsible for driving in the Tarp Skunks' second run with the first hit of the ball game, a double down the left field line. As Huar comes set, kicks and throws, and the pitch. That one is way outside, and the count goes 2-2.
RBI stat. I'm sure he's got to be among the team leader in RBI.
Number 1 with now 16. That was his 16th RBI on the season. As Huar comes set, kicks and throws. That one's fouled. And we'll do 2-2 all over again. I'm going to double check my numbers. Make that RBI number 23. That's his 23rd RBI. Caleb Jordan in second with 17. Two and two. The pitch. That one low, and the count goes full. So the runners will be going. Full count, bases loaded, 2 out. We are in the top of the second inning. 1 run across, and the Tarp Skunks looking for more. The payoff pitch comes, and it is fouled. And that one's going to go out of play. And we'll do 3-2 all over again. And a tough view here from our vantage point here at Olean down the left field line, or right field line. I decided to just use all the surface area we could. 3-2. The payoff pitch. Runners go. That one called strike three, and the side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit. Bases left loaded. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It is 2-0 Jamestown. All right, Jalen, thank you very much. As the Tarp Skunks holding on to a 2-0 lead, going to the bottom of the second inning. Aiden Willard set to lead it off for the Olean Oilers. 269 hitter, comes in with 7 RBIs, has a double and a couple of triples. This Cam Churchill getting ready to start his second inning of work. Beautiful day here in Olean. 87 degrees, mostly sunny skies, very little wind. First pitch taken for a strike, 0-1. You know, if this game had been played last week, we might have actually been considering another 55-degree 9 o'clock situation. But now, summer's switch got flipped on here. There's that one taken for a strike, 0-2, and Churchill finding the zone. That last strike call might have been a little generous. Churchill comes set. The 0-2 pitch. That one just off the plate. Count goes 1-2. You know, this is one of the top 3 backdrops in the PGCBL. Looking out in center field. It's the 1-2. Popped up and out of play down the third baseline. And we'll do 1 and 2 all over again. Obviously, Dietrich Park, number 1. This one is a close second. And I think the difference between 2 and 3 is a pretty big gap. Although Niagara Falls, especially when the sun starts to set, it's pretty nice. The 1-2 pitch misses, and the count goes 2-2. And of course, you've had the opportunity now to visit a few of the ballparks I have yet to go to: Geneva, Newark, and Auburn. Line drive into center field. Moore comes in and makes the shoestring catch for out number 1. Somewhere Willie Mays is smiling at that one. And a line drive out to start the inning. That's going to bring up Brady Smith, the catcher, with 1 out. 267 hitter, 10 RBIs. Has a couple of doubles on the season. So Churchill stands in, righty on righty. First pitch taken for a strike, 0-1. And again, Churchill reestablishing with that first pitch strike.
I want to go back to that previous play. That was a pretty close
Swing and a miss, and the count goes 0-2 to the Oilers' backstop.
Churchill starting the inning pretty solid, but again, he's going to have to do better at closing out these innings.
There's the pitch. There's a pop-up. Second base, Kiefer, called off by Moore, and he makes the catch for out number 2.
And Grant Moore covered a lot of ground. He was almost a second base area when he made that catch.
And that was the right call off, too, for him to take that. He covered a ton of ground to get that. Kiefer giving up the play after Moore called him off. He was still backpedaling to try to find it, so Graham Moore showing that outstanding acumen out in center field. As the first pitch to Jack Painter, taken for a strike, count goes 0-1.
And Jack Painter, if I remember, he is one that's not going to go down easily.
Absolutely not. Is that one taken for a ball? Count 1-1 for Painter on the season. 194, 7 RBIs. As there's a swing and a miss, and the count goes 1-2. He was one of those names that really you had to pay attention to early on in the season. It's tapered off a bit. It's the 1-2 pitch, taken up high for a ball. And the count evens at 2 apiece.
I remember last game, Jack Painter at that part of the lineup that gave them problems.
That one misses low, and the count goes full 3-2 to Painter. And to your point, on the precipice of going 1-2-3, he needs to figure out a way to close out Painter here without extending the inning. And the 3-2, that one misses, and he lost him. 2-out walk to Painter.
I gotta say, even though that was ball 4, that was a pretty close call. I'm not sure where they missed, but nonetheless, it was ball 4.
As the third baseman, Aiden Coburn, comes to the plate. 278 hitter, 5 RBIs on the season. Does have 5 doubles, or 5 hits on the season, no extra base hits. Just looking at the wrong column there. 2 out, 1 on. First pitch is a chopper toward short. Go to second way. Oh, and throws it away is Dixon into right field. And that'll be an error on Dixon. Yeah, that was close, but Dixon, I don't know really what happened with that. Tito Kiefer was still moving a little bit, maybe just lost his, track on the ball. It's just one of those yip plays. Snap throw over to first, and nothing doing there. As Dana Williams, there's another name that has been a pest to the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. His average has dropped to 194. Left-hander stands in. There's a drive out into right field, right to Muncie, who puts it away. And the inning is over, not without a little drama. No runs, no hits, an error, and 2 runners left. We go to the top of the third inning. Jalen Ferguson on deck. It's 2-0 Jamestown. Here in Olean as we go to the top of the third inning. Nate Muncy, Tito Kiefer, and Heath Fetchick will be two up, and they will face Brayton Huar, who will start the second inning after coming in for Chris Lieta, who left potentially due to a injury with his pitching arm. No information as to what that injury might be as of yet. If we hear anything, we will let you know. But here to tell you all about the third inning and beyond, it's Jalen Ferguson.
As to lead it off here is Nate Muncy. 5 swings and misses.
Well, we're getting to the point in your internship where you're going to get some of the heavy lifting. You're going to, it's an all-around program here, well-rounded program.
Muncy, he was hit by the pitch in his last at bat, so he's not had an official reported impact.
One of three Tarp Skunks that were hit by pitches in that first inning.
Sidearm kind of sinking down a little, so maybe a few bucks left. Swings by Muncy. He's hit 2 strikes. His 6th K.
Now batting for Jamestown, second baseman number 1, Tito Kiefer. Second strikeout for Bryson Poor.
Olean with 2 in the first inning, 3 in the second inning. It's number 1 here in the third.
That's insane.
Well, Howard looks like he's going to be in for the long haul here. At Batavia tomorrow, back here on Thursday. And then we got the Oilers back at our place on Friday. So 3 of the next 4 against Olean.
Really seeing this team slow down a lot in the first quarter of the season, and now as we transition to the third quarter, went in there for a strike. 2-2 to go to Kiefer.
Yep, after Friday, we don't see Olean again until the last week of the season, back-to-back games here before we close out with Geneva at home. One of the things that surprised me is when getting ready for the game, the Tarp Skunks on the road, 10-1. At home, 5-5. They have definitely been the epitome of road warriors here. It's usually flipped the script on how a coach wants to see their season go.
Just missed. So Kiefer gets off via bases.
That was a generous call, to say the least. There's a lot of disagreement with that call up here in the booth. I can't say I blame them.
We're going to do the second walk for Kiefer, and that's going to bring up Heath Fetchick. Heath Fetchick talking about a guy who wants to seal his win right. That one, ground ball for the infield, fielded by Bates, and he's going to fire it in time. Fetchick, the second baseman, with 6
You could kind of hear that ball sizzling over the grass when it hit Bates' glove, bounced out, but good recovery by Bates to get the runner at first. Some of these calls on both sides, a little bit questionable here tonight. I think we're gonna have a bit of an adventure behind the plate. Not something you like to see, though.
Well, we have these games. That one popped up into no man's land. Three men getting there. It is Bates with the catch, and that'll do it for the Tarp Skunks with one left on. Now, no hits.
A
No
great
runs in
play
the
by
third.
Thomas
Deep into
Bates
the
to
bottom
save
of
a
the
possible
third.
hit. That'll end the top.
Bottom of the third inning here in Olean. Cam Churchill on the mound for his third inning of work. He'll face the top of the order in Thomas Bates, Grant Fournier, and Derek Stout. And here to tell you all about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Cam Churchill is going to want to increase or want to add on to this momentum. 2 straight zeros. No runs given up for him. But
Back
he
in
is
the top of the
absolutely
order for the
delivering
Oilers, second baseman
as a
number
starter
20,
today.
Thomas Bates.
Let's see how he does as we roll it back up to the top of the lineup as Thomas Bates.
There was a couple of times, especially when the Tarp Skunks were on that 3-game slide, and even just maybe a couple of games before that, where the middle relievers, the guys coming out of the bullpen, camp included, were struggling a bit. And you almost wanted to press the panic button, but seems like after those 3 days off and the Tarp Skunks getting back in the routine and especially winning on the road, Churchill seems to be settled in here.
That one missed it. Yeah, a little green. It's going to be now as you transition a lot of these middle relievers into the starting position. A lot of your pitchers are going to have to step up. That one popped up and it's foul on the right arm. Count at 1-1.
Give me a second, check your mic here. So you're a little bit closer in there.
That one fouled.
There
So
you go.
we got 1-2 the count. Thomas Banks, as he got out, we hit back to center on the first as that one is popped up to center field. Grant Moore coming in and making the catch for the first out.
Now batting for the Oilers, center fielder number 30, Grant Fournier.
There are some characteristics to these players. Very clean inside. He's going to bring up Grant Fournier as he popped up to third. That one driven out to left field, and that one
Well, you knew that was going to happen eventually. So eventually they were going to find a ball that they could put into play. Here's going to be the key important thing to look at for Cam Churchill is how well is he going to be able to manage and keep Fournier from scoring.
Yeah, had a runner in scoring position on first. He's not a stranger to having a hole. Safe steal by Brady Fournier. Pitch is a ball or a strike. So only one the count. Camp Churchill. Brett Fournier will look at second. Olean makes the deal. That would be dirt. Is a ball. One in play. I think Camp Churchill should really step off. I mean, Fournier has taken very aggressive leads at second base.
I was thinking the exact same thing too. Just take that extra half a step, wait for Fournier to take that extended lead.
That one hits so Aaron Stout is going to get his second hit by pitch of the game. Runner is at first and second.
Now batting for the Oilers, first baseman number 32, Danny Martin.
Benny Martin was an all-star last year. He's got Skunks. I think the key to the game is not pitching. The leadoff, the top of the lineup to walk.
So now middle infield going to play at double play depth. The Weeks just playing on the back of the infield dirt.
So Benny Martin, runners at first and second. Double play depth. That one fouled by there you go. He's giving you a strike there. Foul.
I don't know why. We're getting people in chat saying they can't hear you, and I don't know why. Because you're definitely showing up on the meter.
Yeah. I mean, I can hear myself.
I might have to switch your channels.
Yeah, I think this is so.
We'll do that at the break.
So 1-1 the count. That one popped up. Foul. Camp Churchill now has a pitcher's count of 1-2. Brett Fournier.
Derek Stout at first. And Martin at the plate, and on deck is Cooper Taro. Camp Churchill giving Fournier a lick at second. That one, ground ball back up to center, throws on the first, and he hits the short end first, so that'll be two gone.
Now batting for the Oilers, right fielder number 34, Cooper.
Yeah, and for Camp, I think he got a little excited there, tried to turn the double play before the ball in his glove, but instead of losing track of the ball, able to track it down and at least get one. Now with 2 outs, situation's a lot more manageable.
He flew out to right field. He sits, what, 2 runners in scoring position. One, two gone. That one in the dirt goes foul by Fletcher. He is going to take a walk. Tarp Skunks up 1. They scored in the first inning, scored in the second, a 0 in the third. Still, so far, nothing good for the Olean Oilers. Cooper Tarley had a 1-0 count. That one just missed. A little bit above the belt. Stout at second. Olean first.
And that's the advantage that the Oilers have on this field. They know if they're going to hit the ball, especially the shortstop, it's not going to hit that dirt. It's not going to pick up that extra spin, which means it's not going to be able to be fielded normally. And that gives the runners the extra advantage to beat something like that out on an infield hit.
Runners at first and third. And steal by Tarley. Throws on the second. Not in time. So we back at runners at second and third. Tarley gets his first hit. Tarley at second. Just missed. It's because we're changing mics. That one's foul.
I'm not sure what's going on with the audio. Everything looks like it should be peaking out here, and I'm not hearing it.
So 1-2 after the foul ball. Had a hard drive, and that one gets down. But now that's foul. Just foul. Very close. So we're going to do 1-2 all
I'm
over
not sure
again.
what's going on with the audio. Everything looks like I'm at a loss.
I don't know. Well, that was a swing and a miss and struck out Aiden Willard, but the Olean Oilers come from 2 hits in the third to bring it alive. It is 2-1 as we go to top of the fourth.
Olean.
As we head to the top of the fourth inning, there is a new Oilers pitcher on the mound. As I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on with this audio issue. All right, Jalen, let's see if you're coming through or not.
I should be. How is not my voice?
Oh, no.
What?
Okay, well, I think I figured that out.
What was it?
So
First baseman number 19, Joaquin Rodriguez.
we'll get you all the details. I think I got this figured out because apparently the last couple innings we were doing it over the webcam, Mike.
Oh, okay.
That's why it was picking me up and not you.
Oh.
But yeah, we have an audio box that goes from the mixer to the computer, and somehow the OBS decided to no longer accept the signal until I had to flip it back. So hopefully that fixes all the audio issues. Thank you to everybody in the chat that was giving us the heads up.
As JRC watches the first ball, 1-0 the count. That one in the zone for a strike. And I'm looking at how Mark Holmes sets his delivery. How he lifts up his foot and then kicks and deals out of the stretch.
For Mark Holmes, his 6th appearance, he is no record, no ERA, 9 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run unearned, 8 walks, and 16 strikeouts.
That was the third pitch misses for a ball. 2-1 the count to JRC. And JRC, he struck out looking in his last at bat. Among of many strikeouts that the Tarp Skunks have.
Keeping my eye on the chat to see if they can let us know if you are coming through loud and clear now.
That was a big swing and miss by JRC, and so now the count is even at 2. CJ Dugan, the bottom of the lineup, will be next. That's Mark Holmes getting set for his delivery. And wheels and deals and fouled behind the plate. And so we're going to do 2-2 all over again.
Holmes, definitely a tough left-handed pitcher. He came in the other night when Olean put the smackdown on the Tarp Skunks in Dietrich Park, came in and relief, and I think went 3 innings of shutout baseball.
Yeah, that was a pretty tough game. And that one, line drive, that one jumps in front of the shortstop, throws on the first, and they get him out. So JRC will be sat down via 6-3 play, and that's going to bring in CJ Dugan. And like you said, Olean and Jamestown has been teeing off against each other in this season series. Tarp Skunks taking 3, Olean taking 2. First pitch to Dugan, swings and misses. So 0-1 the count.
You know, one of the things that worried me about this season coming up was the fact that it was going to be a very unbalanced schedule between the two teams. Or between, you know, all the teams. You'd have a lot of guys, a lot of the teams like in the West.
That's a ground ball up the middle. Scooped up by Bates, throws on the first, not in time. And CJ Dugan gets on via infield single.
Same type of single that the Oilers benefited from in the bottom of the last inning. Gets one here, just the same.
Yeah, but you were talking about the season series.
Yeah, well, I was talking, you know, because Jamestown have played Olean, Batavia, Niagara Falls, Niagara more than they've played Geneva, Auburn, Elmira, you know, and Newark.
Kicks and deals, fouled, and Grant Moore fouls off the first pitch.
It brought up a little bit of worry because teams like Auburn and Elmira, you knew they were going to feast on Geneva and Newark, and while those two teams have really kind of started to turn around a little bit as we get to the second month of the season, you wondered if Auburn or Elmira were going to get an unfair advantage in the playoff standings.
Swings on and misses by Grant Moore, so he's behind in the count 0-2.
And thankfully, that hasn't really been much of a factor.
as the Tarp Skunks and Batavia and even Olean have figured out a way to get things done outside of the unbalanced schedule. Auburn is in trouble at this point.
Well, in 3 pitches, Grant Moore is struck out, and so that'll be the second out. That's going to bring in Eric Weeks. You know, you talk about Geneva and Newark, but I do want to throw this out there. Newark with an upset on Saturday or on Sunday.
Oh, huge upset against Batavia.
One of the league leaders snapped throw to first from home, not in time. Major upset. I don't think any of us guessed that.
No, that was a game I was watching. That one really took a funky turn really quickly.
Kicks and deals that one up for a ball. So 1-0.
Weeks has struck out, double driven in the second Tarp Skunks run back in the second inning. So 1 for 2 on the day.
I gotta say, this is the most strikeouts I've seen from the Tarp Skunks all season.
It's been a while.
Kicks and deals. That one just missed. 2-0. CJ Dugan at first. Score is 2-1 here in Bradner Stadium here in Olean, New York. That one up high for a ball. 3-0 to Eric Weeks.
And if you remember against Batavia, strikeouts were a big problem for the Skunks there as well.
That is true. Batavia is one of those teams that Tarp Skunks have really struggled against. They were able to get their first win against them, but then lost 2 in that series.
It's always been a historical battle between those two.
And that one, strike. And that was a very late strike call.
Yeah, delayed. You have time to order a sandwich on DoorDash before he makes his called strike.
I think Eric Weeks knew that was a strike before the ump did. That one misses, and Eric Weeks gets on base via walk. So that's going to bring in Nolan Smith, who was hit by the pitch twice. So he still does not have an official at bat as we roll around the third through the lineup the third time.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup. Lefty versus lefty, 2-on-2 out here.
I'm seeing Castello taking some swings out there. Nonetheless, Nolan Smith, as Holmes steps off. Dugan at second, Eric Weeks at first, Nolan Smith at the plate. And he hit a home run against Auburn to seal the deal. That one fouled on the left side. And Nolan Smith, he's going to be the one to try and drive one. I mean, we saw his power being able to pull it down the right field side.
Did not hit a home run at all last season, so first one as a Tarp Skunk.
So 0-1 the count. That one misses for a ball. 1-1 to Nolan Smith.
Talked to him a little bit before the game. You know, his arrival here a bit delayed. Had some problems with his shoulder. Still not quite 100%, but he is out and ready to play. And keep an eye on that shoulder or that elbow.
That one misses for a ball 2-1. You know, Nolan Smith, one of the guys that we talked about, we thought he was going to come in, but then as the season progressed, we weren't too sure. But then when the Tarp Skunks needed him, he was here along with Castello and Spittarelli.
Answering the call. The bat signal.
That one up high for a ball, 3-1. And Mark Holmes is going to try and avoid having a force full of skunks, but Nolan Smith is going to take it on base whether he can get it or not. And that one is going to be ball 4. And so Nolan Smith is going to be on, and that is going to bring in a pinch hitter for Paul Delanto, as it is Dominic Costello.
Pinch hitter for Jamestown, Dominic Costello.
So Dom Costello stands in. Interesting move here to replace Delanto.
I wasn't too sure about that move, but nonetheless, here is Costello. And like we said, another player answering the call. Like I said, the Cavalry have shown up. And since their arrival, a 3-game win streak.
It's the third time in 4 innings the Skunks have had the bases loaded here. See if they can get some runs in.
That one in the dirt for a ball. Want to know the count. Costello. I'm not too sure. Does he have a hit yet?
I think he has one.
And here goes the kicks and deals, and that one is popped up, and that one drops in. 1 run is going to score. Throws on the third, not in time. And Dom Costello gets himself an RBI single, as it is now 3-1 Tarp Skunks.
Well, just as you were asking if he had a hit yet, yeah, 2 and 6 at bats. Well, make that 3 in 7 at bats as 2 runs come in on the base hit. And there's going to be a bit of a meeting at the mound, as Mark Holm looked like he was going to cruise through this 4th inning. And all of a sudden, the Tarp Skunks getting some damage across the board.
And I think CJ Dugan was the one that came across the score, and
Weeks as well, because out at third base is Nolan Smith. So 4-1, Tarp Skunks with the lead.
Oh, you're right.
yeah, that is true. So what a good way for Costello. A 2 RBI single.
As the meeting at the mound finally over.
So that's going to bring in Nate Muncy. Nate Muncy was hit by the pitch and struck out. So he wants to put his name to an RBI.
Came into the game hitting .279. And the Skunks trying to build off this momentum here. 2 across with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
And that one up high for a ball. So I want to know the count.
You know, one of the things that we had talked about earlier is that it always seemed like the Skunks were trying to build a rally out with 2 outs. This time it actually worked.
You know, that's the thing. They are the ones to get rallies when they need it. It's that one in there for a strike, 1-1. So Nate Muncy, he's another one of those players that we talk about who really turned it on. That one inside for a ball, 2-1.
You know, now also showing some diversity out in the field. Had been playing primarily first base, now moving over to right field, especially with the arrival of Nolan Smith. I'm sure you're going to see him play at first base again.
That one just missed. So it is 3-1 the count.
But as of right now, he is doing a bang-up job filling in out in right field.
That is true. Now, usually the outfielders have a little bit of speed, but Muncy been able to keep his ground as that one popped up and out of play on the left side. You know, Nate Muncy, he's not really as fast, but nonetheless has been able to keep his ground at right field.
Costello going to go on this 3-2 pitch with 2 outs here.
3-2 to Nate Muncy. That one, line drive, ground ball, and that one gets past the shortstop. And then Dominic Costello is in at third. And a run scores. So now the Tarp Skunks are up 5-1.
The question is, are they going to score that a hit or an error?
I'm not too sure.
I'm leaning toward a hit on that one just because, again, the nature of this infield does some weird things to the baseball.
He did take a pretty awkward bounce at short. We'll see if they call that an error or a single.
So we'll give him the hit and the RBI on that one.
As that one gets past the pitcher or gets past the catcher, a run is going to come in and score as it is now a 6-1 ball game. Tarp Skunks up by 5.
And an uncharacteristic wild pitch by Mark Holm.
So I'm going to give Muncy the single. We'll see if we are corrected here.
4 runs across here in this 4th inning.
And Tito Kiefer at the plate. That one fouled. He pulled that one.
And absolutely no flinching in the Tarp Skunks bullpen as that one deflected with grace.
They're putting a lot of their trust in Camp Churchill. I didn't think Camp was going to go this long despite whether he had a good outing or a bad outing. I didn't think he was going to get past the 3rd inning. Is that one a ground ball? And that one took a bad hop at third. Here comes Nate Muncy. And Muncy's going to come in to score. It is now 7-1. Tarp Skunks up by 6.
And that has to be completely demoralizing for Cowburn as he had a beat on it. The ball just decided that it didn't want to go in his glove, skipped around it. And the Tarp Skunks taking advantage of an excuse me single by Tito Kiefer, 7-1.
Yeah, that was a dribbler, or that was a bouncer up to third, and then once it hit the dirt, it just started rolling. But that's going to bring in Heath Fetchick as he swings and misses at the first pitch. Heath Fetchick popped out to right, and he grounded out to second. And he has an 0-1 count. Now he's behind in the count 0-2 after the strike. Tito Kiefer at first. Could possibly see him go. Nobody covering the bag at second. Kicks and deals by Holmes. Swings and a miss by Fetchick, and that'll do it. But the Tarp Skunks on a couple of hits, bringing in 5. Tarp Skunks up 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th.
Seven to 1 Tarp Skunks as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Camp Churchill back on the mound. He will start his 4th inning of work and face Brady Smith, Jack Painter, and Aiden Cowburn. And due up to the microphone that's actually working this time, it's Jalen Ferguson.
Well, hello, everybody.
You excited? People can hear you now.
I know, right? It was almost like a ghost was talking. They couldn't see, they couldn't hear me, but they can feel my presence.
There are days I hate this computer. That's all I'm going to say. 60 pitches for Camp Churchill so far. So if he has a economical 4th, he could come out for the 5th and qualify for the win.
Yeah, he's definitely doing better than expectations. I didn't think he was going to go past the 3rd, whether good or bad. But nonetheless, he's getting the call for the bottom of the 4th as he's going to face Brady Smith as the kicks and deals. And that one's misses for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. I thought he was going to be kind of managed in a pod system type of way, 3 innings, maybe 4, but he's been cruising here.
That one also misses for a ball.
Deserves to have his day in the sun, so to speak. Let's get you caught up on a couple of scores around the rest of the Western Conference in the PGCBL after this pitch.
And that one hit him in the back. And so the leadoff hitter gets on first via hit by pitch. So 1 on. Going to bring in Jack Painter up to the plate.
And Painter walked his first time up, so his second at-bat of the day. Elmira with a 9-1 lead over the Newark Pilots. That one in Newark in the bottom of the 5th inning. Niagara Falls Americans with a 3-2 lead over the Geneva Red Wings. That one in the top of the 5th.
That one in the dirt. Good block by Fetchick. Keeping Smith at first.
And the Batavia Muck Dogs with a 3-0 lead over the Ironbacks in St. Catharines. That one in the top of the 5th inning. Amsterdam working on their 13th win in a row over in the East.
That one is in their first strike, 1-1.
And as it's looking right now, they will easily walk away with their 13th in a row as they have a 15-0 lead.
I'm sorry, 13th in a row?
13th in a row, 15-0 lead over the Glens Falls Dragons.
That one also misses. Fetchick made a move to first but did not throw. 2-1 the count.
And I'll throw this out there. I got to wonder how good would Amsterdam actually be if they faced the Western Division in most of their games.
That one is up for a ball, 3-1. You know, it's hard to say because the East and the West, they do not play each other. Though the East, they have 5 teams compared to the West with 7. Snap throw to first, not in time.
7 and 9.
Oh, 7 and 9.
Yeah, we've got 9. They've got 7. But you know, if you look at the records, pretty much every other team in that division outside of Amsterdam is even.
3-1. That one popped up. Giving chase is Weeks and does not come up with it as it is fouled. So make that 3-2 the count to Painter.
And I gotta wonder, you know, how, first off, what kind of pipeline does Amsterdam have with the local schools to bring in the type of talent they have? And why aren't the other teams in the East able to build teams to compete?
That one misses for a ball, and so that'll be the second walk in the inning for Camp Churchill, as there is finally action in the Tarp Skunks bullpen. We'll get you a number on him.
It's going to be a left-hander. It looks like it could be Jack Santee. We'll see, but, you know, Amsterdam, the exception to the rule, obviously, last year when Saugerties beat them and then ended up beating the Batavia Muck Dogs to win the PGCBL championship. Saugerties is 12-9. Amsterdam is 19-4-1. Oh, no. There goes their winning streak. They tied their last game, so that it was a 12-game winning streak that's come to an end.
That's going to bring in Aiden Colburn. And it stepped off. Thought he was almost calling that a balk, but no, Camp Churchill stepped off.
You know, I would love to see sometime, like in the middle of the year, a showcase series between the top 1 and top 2 teams in each division.
As that one, line drive just in front of us, fouled.
Well, that was coming toward the camera.
That was. That would be a real shame if that one knocked out the camera.
Not really. That's a $26 camera off of Temu.
Yeah, but what about the broadcast, though?
Yeah, we go radio.
That is true.
We got the good cameras at home.
0-1 the count. That one driven out to right field. Muncie with a diving catch. Tagging is Smith as he gets in the third safely, as it is one gone. Runners at first and third, and that's going to bring in the bottom of the lineup, Dana Williams.
So you said Muncie not being the fastest guy out there. You know, you might be right. He might not be the fastest outfielder, but his instincts are correct. Rarely do you see a ball that is hit toward him that he misjudges, and he was able to track down everything hit at him tonight.
Yes, as Joe Riedebach coming onto the mound, and
I hope he doesn't bowl him here. I'd like to see him keep going. That's going to do it, though.
That is going to do it. So, Tarp Skunks up 7-1. Runners at first and third. We'll get you the new pitcher after this. And welcome back here to Bradner Stadium. Tarp Skunks up 7-1. That'll do it for the pitcher, Camp Churchill, as it is Jack Santee to take over, as he has runners at first and third. And here to give you the splits for Jack Santee, it is Dre Guinness.
For Jack Santee, he comes in his 5th appearance of the season. No record with a 1.69 ERA. 5 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 3 hits, 1 run earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts in 16 batters faced. Batters only hitting 188 against the left-hander. And like Jalen said, he's got a bit of a jam. Runners at the corners with 1 out. But the Tarp Skunks holding on to a 6-run lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Jack Santee, though, he does have a little bit of a jam, but it's not really that much pressure when you're up by 6. But then again, we saw the wheels fall off for the Tarp Skunks before, so it's all about just getting out of this inning.
Yeah, and I mean, part of it I think is a preventative measure just to keep Olean from being able to build up momentum. The other part is, too, you know, Churchill had a great afternoon. 3 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. He is responsible for the 2 runners left, but a pretty solid performance for him today.
So let's see how Jack Santee does against the bottom. Dana Williams. That one misses for a ball, 1-0.
And Santee's going to have to figure out this strike zone quickly here, which has been a struggle, I think, for both sides here tonight.
That one, fly ball to center field. Grant Moore ranging under it, makes the catch, but the runner is going to tag up and he is going to score. Olean chips away at a lead. It is now 7-2. Tarp Skunks still with the lead.
And with that sac fly bringing in the runner at third, that gives Santee a little breathing room just to be able to focus on Thomas Bates and not really worry about the runner at first with 2 down.
So that's going to bring us back to the top of the lineup. It is Thomas Bates. Snap to the first, not in time.
70 pitches on the day for Camp Churchill. 2 hits, now officially 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. 7 flyouts to 2 groundouts.
That one driven out to center field. Grant Moore ranging under it and makes the catch for the out, and that'll do it for the Olean Oilers. They do put up 1 run. It is now 7-2 as we go to the top of the lineup, or top of the 5th here.
As we go to the top of the 5th inning here in Olean, Jamestown. With 5 in the 4th inning, opening up a comfortable lead. They will send up Dixon, JRC, and CJ Dugan here in the top of the 5th, and they will face a new Oilers pitcher, Austin Miles. For Miles, his 5th appearance comes in with a 1-0 record, 9.84 ERA. 9 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 14 hits, 10 runs, all earned. 7 walks against 8 strikeouts. Hitters are hitting .350 against him. So this might be an opportunity for the Tarp Skunks to put some more runs on the board as they're getting into the Oilers bullpen. Here to tell you all about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much. As Miles, he's going to face Dixon, JRC, and then bottom is CJ Dugan. Now, as the sun goes down, if you remember 3 weeks ago, or a little over 4 weeks ago, if you remember back the last time we were here,
May 30th to be exact,
it was a lot of fly balls get lost in the lights, and it's because of the dark spots in the outfield.
Thankfully, still not at that point yet.
This game has been cruising as the first pitch is fouled. That one's fouled out of play.
And it was around this time, too, where you could definitely feel the temperature significantly dropping. Not the case here in the last day of June.
We have passed summer solstice. 0-1, fouled at the plate.
Days are already getting shorter, which means that we're getting closer to the end of the regular season, and that always scares me.
That does scare me. things got to go back. But nonetheless, let's enjoy right now as James Dixon with an 0-2 count, and he leaves the ball in the dirt. It is 1-2.
Game started 88 degrees, and it's only dropped 3. The thing about this, too, though, with this type of errors, you get something in the air, it could travel.
That one right down Main Street, and James Dixon is sat down looking. It is the first out, and that's going to bring in Joaquin Rodriguez Costa, JRC, up to the plate. And JRC, he struck out looking, and he grounded out to short in his last at-bats. As he watches the ball in the dirt for a ball. 1-0.
One thing about Rodriguez Costa is he has had quality at-bats all season long. Early in the season, hitting the ball hard just right at someone, and now they're starting to drop for him.
That one in the zone for a strike. Or, no, that one missed. 2-0. That one driven out to left field, ranging back as the left fielder makes the catch at the wall. And JRC is down for a loud out number 2.
JRC going oppo taco with that one, driving it to left. There's no semblance of a warning track out here. So that threw me off up until Willard was 3 feet from the wall to make the catch. I mean, that's opposite field power. To about 360 out to that left field wall where it was caught, but just a little short.
That's going to bring in CJ Dugan as he watches the first pitch for a ball, 1-0.
That's what I was saying about, there's no wind here, a bit of humidity. Ball gets up in that.
That one is in there for a strike, 1-1.
There's another delayed call for the home plate umpire, but that ball gets up in that air, and it can travel for a while. Nothing to knock it down.
I'm talking about traveling as that one traveled fouled and almost into the street there.
I think a good catch was made by someone because I didn't hear a thump. It sounded like it went into a glove.
So 1-2 to CJ Dugan. That one, ground ball to short, bounces, keeps it in front. Not in time. CJ Dugan gets on via an infield single, and we're going to roll it back up to the top of the lineup.
Yeah, that definitely should be an infield single. Ball took a bad hop coming up on Williams. He did a good job to knock it down, recover, but by the time he was able to get the throw off, Dugan was aboard.
Grant Moore is due up, and he's having a game that we not normally see. Hit by pitch, struck out looking, and struck out swinging. Is that one fouled? Rarely we see Grant Moore with 2 strikeouts. Well, we rarely see Grant Moore strike out, let alone twice.
Yeah, a little bit of a downturn here for him in the last week or so.
That one is up for a ball. 1-1 the count.
You wonder almost, not that you want to say, hey, let's bench it, but you wonder if maybe, have a game off, give him a little bit of a rest.
He did get a game off back in Geneva. That one in there for a strike, 1-2. Another delayed call. So Grant Moore once again behind the count, 1-2. And line drive fouled. CJ Dugan was on the run.
There gets to a point when you're hitting at a certain level that you expect to hit at. You start, hitting hard balls right to people that are taking them away from you.
That one fouled again.
There does come the tendency to press a little bit, try to do too much with the baseball. And I think, with Moore, he was seeing the baseball easier in the beginning of the season, letting the ball come to him. Could be pressing a little bit.
So 1-2. Swings and misses at the ball in the dirt, and that'll do it for the Tarp Skunks. Skunks go down, one left on. We go to the top of the fifth. It is still 7-2.
Tarp Skunks with the lead over the Olean Oilers as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Jack Santee will be back on the mound as he came in the bottom of the fourth inning, and he'll face 2, 3, 4, Fournier, Stout, and Martin. And here to tell you all about it, it's Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much. As the Tarp Skunks is holding on to a 5-run lead here as we go into the bottom of the fifth. So Grant Fournier, he popped out to third. He also doubled in his last at bat. And he lays down a bunt, fouled. So it is 0-1 the count to Grant Fournier.
Tarp Skunks on the road tomorrow at Batavia, 6:30 here on the Tarp Skunks YouTube channel. And then back here in Olean on Thursday before we finally make it back home for the 3rd of July.
That one is a ground ball to Kiefer. Kiefer on the first, and it's in time. And so the leadoff man is sat down, and so it is 1 out here.
Nice job by Keith for watching the ball into his glove, coming off of that grass where the dirt normally would be. Took his time, set, double pumped, and threw a bullet right to JRC for the first out.
Here is Derek Stout, and he was named Player of the Week for the Olean Oilers. And he has no at-bats today. He watches the first pitch for a strike. Has no official at-bat as he was hit by the pitch twice.
Going back to July 3rd, it's fireworks night at Dietrich Park.
That one in the dirt. So it is 1-1 the count.
The day before the 4th of July, and then the Tarp Skunks have to go to Canada on Independence Day.
Luckily, we get the day off. I still might go. Well, I might go to that game.
And then Elmira on Sunday.
That one up and misses. 2-1. Elmira, that's a road game, right?
That is a road game. It's only about an hour and a half from here. Just keep going down the 86.
That one is fouled. So 2-2 the count.
It's a nice old school ballpark with a press box that's about 400 feet above the field.
You know, I gotta see this.
You do.
It's that one. Fouled on the left side.
So last year, I went to Elmira for the doubleheader. I was going to actually sit in with the Elmira broadcaster on his broadcast for one of the two games on a doubleheader. And
that one popped up. Fetchick throwing the mask, and that one is out of play, fouled. And so it is 2-2 the count.
And you get to the game, and that infield was tore up. They were doing everything they possibly could to get the field back into playing condition, and unfortunately, they couldn't get the games in.
2-2 the count. That one outside for a ball. So it is a full count to Derek Stout.
But I had at that time I had some damaged ligaments in my ankle. I was wearing a walking boot, and I saw the staircase.
That one driven to the outfield. Grant Moore giving chase on the run. Makes the catch into shallow center. And so it is 2 gone now for the Tarp Skunks. So that's going to bring up Denny Martin.
Santee doing a solid job here.
He
in
is.
the bottom of the 5th inning.
You know, he's not throwing any, he's not throwing for strikeouts. He's putting the ball in play and letting the ball travel to the position players, and they're getting the outs. Very clean. So first pitch to Denny Martin, and that one was fouled. Oh, and won the count.
And that was pitch number 14 total. 11 in this inning. So he only threw 3 pitches to get out of the bottom of the 4th.
So 0-1. That one just missed for a ball. 1-1. Denny Martin, he walked in his first at bat and then grounded to Camp Churchill in his last one. That one catches the zone for a strike. 2-2. Or 1-2 the count. And Santee looking to get that 3rd out. No damage done. Someone in the dirt for a ball. Even count it too. Tarp Skunks with 7 runs scored in the 1st and 2nd innings and then scored back in the 4th. Olean, as they scored in the 3rd and the 4th. So 2-2 count. That one in the dirt for a ball. 3-2 full count. And Jack Santee needs to find the pitch that will end the inning here.
Tarp Skunks have been sent.
That one up high for a ball, and so Denny Martin is going to draw a walk.
I was going to say, Tarp Skunks have not had a 1-2-3 inning yet in this game. The least amount of hitters in any one inning. Actually pretty consistent through the 1st, 2nd, and 4th inning has been 5 batters per inning. Only in the 3rd inning did they throw 6. So, I mean, it's been pretty consistent. You would just like to see that extra runner not get on base.
So it's going to bring in Cooper Tarley. First pitch in there for a strike, 1-0. And Cooper Tarley flew out to right. He also singled and came around to score, putting up the 1st run. Or actually putting up the 2nd run for them. That one popped up and fouled just above us. Meep, meep. Oh, with the, yeah, what is that cartoon called?
Roadrunner?
Roadrunner, that's what it was. I had a childhood, you know.
Are you sure?
I did.
Okay.
So quickly 0-2.
Wile E. Coyote disagrees.
0-2. And that one popped up again. JRC ranging under it, makes the catch for the out, and that'll do it for the Olean Oilers. 1 left on no hits. We go to the top of the 6th. Tarp Skunks up 7-2.
over the Olean Oilers as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Austin Miles still on the mound for the Olean Oilers, and he will be facing the heavy lifting part of the order for the Tarp Skunks. Wheat Smith and the Dom father, Dominic Costello. 2-3-4 due up here. And here to tell you about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much. The Dom father. That is.
There's a story behind that. So when I went to a game last year up in Niagara, the only time I went to Canada last year, the PA announcer used to call Dom Costello Don Costello.
Oh.
And after that, I started calling him the Godfather. And then later on, toward the end of the season, it went from the Godfather to the Dom Father.
That actually works.
So a little PGCBL nickname lore happening here.
You never know where people get their nickname from. Sometimes by complete accident.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the one that you're walking around with.
Yeah, I don't think we can talk about that.
Oh, I think we can. I just don't want to. I wouldn't do that to you.
I think that would be the worst nickname I'd have been called. But nonetheless, Eric Weeks standing in, and he will lead it off for the 6th. As the first pitch is in there for a strike.
Nice pivot there.
I had to.
The Ukrainian judge gives it an 8.7.
That one grounded to short. Throws on the first, and it is in time. And Eric Weeks is retired. And so one away, and that's going to bring up Nolan Smith.
Jamestown, the DH number 14, Nolan Smith.
And this game has really picked up the pace a bit. The first inning took almost an hour. Top and bottom. Our first 2 innings almost took an hour. And now we're in the top of the 6th inning just an hour later.
That one is fouled out of play. You know, it's really different than how it was back in Auburn as the first game. A little over 2 hours. I mean, I know that game, the doubleheaders are only 7 innings, but that first game went by very quickly. That one is popped up fouled.
It was a pretty good pitcher's duel between the starting pitchers. Eli Bryant and Muir, I think, for Auburn. And then that 8th inning outburst. It was funny.
That's that one. Grounded to short again. Throws on the first, and it's in time. And so Nolan Smith is sat down and quickly 2 away for the Tarp Skunks.
You know, it was funny. The Tarp Skunks had to go extra innings to beat Auburn in game 1. And they made up the deficit by mercing them in the 6th inning, so it only went 6 in game 2. So it all balanced out, 14 total innings.
So that will be Dom Costello. That one misses for a ball. You know, that first game, even though extra innings, I wonder if they would have just played a full game anyway, if that went any further, as that one is in the dirt.
What, in the first game?
Because isn't it like 10 innings, the maximum?
Yeah, but not for a doubleheader. They only go 7+1.
Oh, that one popped up to third base, and then he did not come up with it. He dropped it. So that is going to be an E5 for Colburn. And Dom Costello is now at first with 2 gone.
Yeah, that's the second charged error to Coburn.
So that one is going to bring in Nate Muncy. And Nate Muncy hit by pitch, struck out, and had a single and scored. So that one is popped up behind the plate. Giving chase is Smith, and he makes the catch. And that'll do it. 1 left on for the Tarp Skunks. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Tarp Skunks up 7-2.
Bottom of the 6th inning for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, holding on to a 7-2 lead over the Olean Oilers. Due up for Olean is going to be Willard, Smith, and Painter. They will face Jack Santee, who is back on for his second full inning of work. And here to come to the microphone yet again is Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Dre, as we are kind of cruising now.
I love it when we're cruising together.
It is still going to be Jack Santee on the mound. And he will face Willard, Smith, and Painter.
Yeah, one of these days, I think, I might pitch to Christian karaoke night at the park.
Karaoke night. I feel like one of those away games they did do something like that. That's something that I feel like that's something the Americans would do.
Oh, and we got an early fireworks celebration happening.
Still June 3rd. Still June 30th.
It's like they put Halloween decorations up in the beginning of August. Why can't we fire off fireworks a week early?
That one popped up foul. But here's the thing about the 4th of July fireworks. Back at home, they be setting up fireworks in May.
I mean,
That one has popped up fouled again for Aiden Willard. So Aiden Willard is quickly behind in the count 0-2.
This is about the time of year that you want to change the pumpkin spice oil in your car.
That's true. I mean, at this point, make everything pumpkin spice.
Oh, absolutely not.
Pumpkin spice Oreos. Actually, I think that actually exists. That one, ground ball. That one gets through for a base hit. So Aiden Willard tacks on a single to his name.
Only the 3rd hit for Olean here today.
Catcher number 31, Brady Smith.
I was going to bring in Brady Smith. Brady Smith popped out to 8. He also was hit by the pitch, but he also came around to score.
Cohen Harris warming up in the Tarp Skunks bullpen.
That one in the dirt for a ball. Want to know the counts. So let's see how Jack Santee gets out of a jam here with no outs. Snap throw to first. And how he snapped to first, it almost looked like he was going to deliver and then stepped off towards JRC at first. So 1-0. That one driven out to left field, makes the catch is Dugan. So it is one gone here at the bottom of the 6th. We're going to bring in Jack Painter, and he does not have an official at bat. 2 walks for him. He's going to face Jack Santee. Jack Santee taking his time on the mound.
With Cohen Harris warming up in the pen, you think, Colin Pence and Chase Barron probably not getting a look today with the amount of work that they had to put in over the weekend.
They did. Colin Pence. I mean, yes, Barron getting to close the door on Saturday, both Pence and Barron getting pitches, and then they were pitching in the first game of the doubleheader on Sunday.
Well, apparently they have a radar gun at the Auburn Stadium on the scoreboard.
That one misses for a ball. Heath Fetchick made a look to first, no throw though.
And we knew that Barron threw gas. Just nothing but pure high-octane heat.
I'm pretty sure he touched 98, if I'm not mistaken.
97, 98. I mean, how he is in the D2 school and not D1 somewhere is beyond me.
That one is in the dirt for a ball, 2-0. I mean, I think if he were to go to the transfer portal, he should go to a D1 school. He's really proven it, especially leading the team in saves. Snap throw to first, not in time.
And he has that big league presence out there.
But I will say,
nothing flashy, just get right down to business.
But I will say also the gun. Joe Santos, I thought he threw a lot faster than 83. Swing and a miss by Jack Painter. I probably would have marked Joe Santos at like 86, but 83?
Must have been that carnival switch they do on the 3-pitch thing. It's Christo Hunsaker pinch hitting for Jack Painter.
That one swings and misses. Oh, yeah, I just now realized it. It's hard to see from this distance, but it is Christo Hunsaker pinch hitting. And he has a 2-2 count. That one driven out to center field. Grant Moore arranging under it, making the catch. And it is 2 gone with a runner on first. So he's going to bring in Aiden Colburn. So Aiden Colburn, he reached via an error and then flew out to right field. Runner goes, throw to second, not in time. And so Willard reaches second on a steal. So at a runner in scoring position, that one fouled behind the plate. 1-1 the count. And Jack Santee, he could be able to finish this game, but it's gonna most likely be over once the inning is over for Santee.
And give a different look on the mound coming in the 7th inning.
As the 1-1 is called strike. So make that 1-2.
And got to be impressed. That was strike called about 7 seconds after the ball crossed the plate.
Yeah, the reaction time is very questionable today. 1-2. That one in the dirt for a ball. 2-2 the count for Santee.
Reminds me of an old major league umpire from the early 80s, earlier than that, 70s to somewhere in the mid to late 80s by the name of Dutch Rennert.
Dutch Rennert. I never heard of him. That one just missed, and now it's a full count now.
He was one of those extra old school umpires that his strike call on a called strike would take about 8 seconds for him to go through the whole routine.
3-2 in the dirt, and that will be ball 4. And so now runners on first and second with 2 gone.
Now batting for Olean, the shortstop number 12, Dana Williams.
So here we are at the bottom of the lineup. It is Dana Williams lined out to right field, and then got himself an RBI sac fly to bring in to bring in Willard, I should say.
So the activity in the bullpen has come to a stop.
It's all about how Jack Santee finishes this inning. That one just missed for a ball, right below the letters. 1-0.
And there were some legendary umpires back in those days.
Runner goes, foul ball, and I don't think that was a double steal. I just think that Aiden Willard wanted to take the bag at third, and I'm looking at the uniform of Aiden Willard, and he has had himself quite a day.
Well, I mean, you haven't really played baseball if your uniform's not dirty.
That is true. If your uniform is not dirty, then you haven't really worked.
So Willard's put his work in. And I think that was a steal on his own volition. You don't steal into third base with 2 outs.
Man, but how are you going to get all that off in the washer? That one is fouled down left or down the third base side. So 1-2 to Dana Williams.
You pray that you have a bunch of non-chlorine bleach that won't fade the colors on the patches, and
man, but that is it's almost like it is soaked into there. So 1-2 to Dana Williams. That one fouled down the left field side.
Yeah, this is the part of the ball game now where dusk is starting to settle in. It's getting harder to see the ball coming off the bat.
Yeah, I took my glasses off.
Oh, wow, that's a first.
I mean, I remember this stadium. I mean, there was multiple line drives that I have lost in the last time.
This is the first time I've actually seen you without your sunglasses on.
As that one is driven out to right, Muncie giving chase. And that one is drop fouled. And we are going to do 1-2 all over again.
He had a long run to go for that one, and it just skipped off the heel of his glove. But that was a heck of an attempt by Muncie out in right field.
So we're going to do 1-2 all over again. You really haven't seen me without my sunglasses? Well, then again, that Zoom call was almost like a decade ago. So
we had a Zoom call?
Remember before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So 1-2 to Dana Williams. Swing and a miss. And the Tarp Skunks get out of the jam with no damage done. Tarp Skunks still up 7-2. 2 left on for the Olean Oilers. We'll come back after this.
Top of the 7th inning here at Bradner Stadium in Olean. And the Jamestown Tarp Skunks with a 7-2 lead over Olean. Kiefer, Fetchick, and Dixon due up for Jamestown. And here to tell you about it, it's Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much. Kiefer is 1 for 1 with 2 walks, and he's got himself an RBI single.
Austin Miles back out for another inning of work. He's already thrown 2 full innings. Struck out 2, no hits, no walks. So he's having a pretty solid, decent relief appearance.
So here comes Tito Kiefer to lead it off here. That one misses.
And we'll go ahead and get you caught up on some of the other scores around the West.
And that one fouled by Kiefer.
Elmira holding on to a 10-7 lead in Newark. Pilots making a game of it. That one's in the bottom of the 7th inning.
That one up and inside for a ball. 2-1 to Kiefer.
The Geneva Red Wings have taken a 6-5 lead over the Niagara Falls Americans in Geneva. That one in the top of the 7th.
That one misses. 3-1 to Kiefer.
And then Batavia Muck Dogs with a 7-0 lead over the Ironbacks up in Canada. That one's in the bottom of the 6th.
That one catches the zone for a strike. 3-1 to Kiefer.
7-2 our score here in Bradner.
That one, ground ball through the infield. And Tito Kiefer leads off the top of the 7th with a single.
Nice leadoff single for Tito Kiefer. 5th hit for the Tarp Skunks.
You know, usually we see Tito Kiefer at number 9 or 10, but now he's in the middle of the lineup today.
Couple singles, couple walks, moving up.
Snap throw to first.
See, and that's something I was thinking about earlier is that, you know, you got used to seeing lineups with those, you know, Morin Weeks at the top and Dumas and Kiefer at the bottom.
That one popped up, giving chase is Martin, and he makes the catch. So Heath Fetchick is out via pop-out.
That was a nice play by Martin to go back on that one in foul territory and track it into his glove for the first out.
So it's going to bring in James Dixon.
So, you know, I was thinking, you keep running that lineup out. Pretty soon teams are going to have a book on that. And so now Joe Riedebach has the ability to mix and match players in different spots in that lineup to basically take the book that everybody's written on the Tarp Skunks over the last couple of weeks and throw it out the window.
That is true. Make teams guess. That one in the zone for a strike. So 1-1 the count.
You have to wait for that delayed strike call.
That is true. Been waiting on the umpire for his signs. Kiefer fake steal, no throw to first. The pitch was a ball, so 2-1.
You'd like to see maybe 1 or 2 more runs come in.
It's that one in the zone for a strike. 2-2 for James Dixon. James Dixon walked, popped out to short, and he also struck out looking in his last at bat. Kiefer fake steal, and that one in the dirt for a ball. 3-2, full count for James Dixon. JRC on deck.
Kiefer's doing a job getting in the head of Miles.
That one driven out to left center field and making the catch. It is Fournier. And 2 gone now for the Tarp Skunks. This one's going to bring up Joaquin Rodriguez Costa.
Now batting for Jamestown, first baseman number 19, Joaquin Rodriguez Costa.
For JRC 0 for 3 on the day.
That one in the zone for a strike. 1-1 the count. As that one driven out fouled.
That one I tried to track and see where that was going to go. Went up in the dark sky and never came down.
That one pops up. Fouled out of play. So now JRC in a pitcher's count of 0-2. That one just missed. 1-2 for JRC.
You have to wonder, is Miles going to try to nibble at him, or is he going to go right after him with a challenge after that 1-2 count?
That one, ground ball to second, throws on to first in time, and JRC is sat down. On one hit, one left on, we go to the bottom of the seventh. It is still 7-2 Tarp Skunks.
As we go to the bottom of the seventh inning, Tarp Skunks with a 7-2 lead over the Oilers. A new pitcher for Jamestown is going to be Cohen Harris. For Harris, let's get his line here. It's going to be his sixth appearance, comes in with a record of 0-1, a 12.27 ERA, and 7 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 13 hits, 11 runs, only 10 of those earned, 5 walks, and 7 strikeouts. He will be facing the top of the order, Bates, Fournier, and Stout. And here to tell you about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Well, thank you very much. And here's the thing. Like we said, how they're transitioning some of the middle relievers to start is going to be up to other middle relievers who haven't had that many reps to fill in the spots. And it starts here with Cohen Harris.
Cohen Harris in his second year with the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Hasn't had the type of year that he would have wanted up to this point, but with a new ball game, it's a new opportunity for him to come out and be lights out here.
As we are nearing the end of the second quarter of the season.
We're almost at the halfway point. As a matter of fact, tomorrow would be the halfway point.
That one misses for a ball. I want to know, and like I said, how crucial first pitch strike is. That one misses again, ball 2.
There was a nice breeze to start the game off. There's a bit of a breeze out in the outfield, but it is still.
That one in there, catches the zone for a strike, 2-1.
It's kind of a 2-layer effect here. About 15, 20 feet up, there's no wind. You get up past that, there's a bit of a breeze blowing the flag out to left.
Was that one over the glove of Fetchick, and it goes to the backstop. 3-1 the count. Again, how crucial it is to throw strikes, especially in this part of the lineup. 3-1 the count to Thomas Bates. And that one misses. And so the leadoff man is on up at first. That's going to bring in Grant Fournier.
It looks like with some of that humidity out there, Harris losing a bit of that grip on the ball. Just saw him rosin bag his forearm and his wrist. We'll see if that helps him regain his control.
That one goes all the way to the backstop and past Fetchick, and so Thomas Bates is going to advance on the wild pitch.
Not trying to press the panic button too early, but you have to wonder how much lead does Cohen Harris have on that leash before Coach Rittebach has to yank it.
I can't really say what's in the mind of Rittebach, because that one misses for a ball. But I will say, I know the leash is, at least for me, it would be very, very short leash. Because no lead is safe here in the PGCBL.
Absolutely not.
That one gets past Fetchick for a third time. And now, Thomas Bates is now 90 feet away. And 3 balls for Grant Fournier. On deck is Derek Stout. And that one catches the zone. 3-1. And here's the thing. When you are down in the count 3-0 and having to fight your way back, that takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, it does.
So 3-1, and he loses them on ball 4. And so 2 walks for Cohen Harris. And that's going to bring in Derek Stout.
And at this point, this is when you have to start thinking about getting somebody up.
You got to. Gotta say, the leash is very short. As Rittebach is walking towards the mound, and
I think he's going to try to figure out what's going on with Harris.
and Harris has only thrown 2 strikes out of the 11 pitches that he have pitched. Yeah, there is now an arm stretching and tossing in the bullpen.
And that definitely was a conversation that had to do purely with mechanics.
It has to.
You could see Rittebach showing Harris where his foot was landing, where it should be landing, you know, where he should be standing in a stretch. A little bit of a demonstration. We'll see if that makes any difference, but there is action starting to ramp up here in the Tarp Skunks bullpen.
And Harris can see the bullpen. Hopefully that can light a fire under him. That one misses for a ball. Harris has only thrown 2 strikes.
You know, I can understand early in the season you might have a little bit more indulgence in a situation like this where you might let him give up a few runs to get his work in. But at this point of the season...
Oh, and that one gets past JRC. A run is going to score. And going is the runner from first. And the throw into Weeks made him jump. But now the score is 7-3. Thomas Bates is the one to score, and Grant Fournier stretched it all the way to third. So that's going to be an E2, I believe.
Yeah, definitely an E2. But it's, you know, I was just talking, you know, you wonder how long the indulgence is going to go on. It can't at this point in the season. You're tied for first place with Batavia. And each of these wins are more important than the other.
It is, especially that game against Batavia tomorrow. Zach McLean will be the one to be on the mound tomorrow. You know, Batavia, one of the conference leaders. That one up, and ball 4. Another walk for Cohen Harris. So with Grant Fournier at third, Derek Stout at first, and that's going to bring in Denny Martin. Again, we see the Tarp Skunks when they have a big lead like this and then the wheels fall off. They got to stop that from happening. The snap through to first, not in time. Because, like I said, no lead is safe in the PGCBL. Kicks and deals. That one misses for a ball.
And Harris hasn't been around the strike zone at all.
No, he hasn't. First pitch strike is always key, and he just hasn't been doing it in the last 4 batters. That one in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Fournier at third. Stout at first. Stout going. Pitches a ball. Throws to no throw, actually. It was a fake throw.
And at this point, I condone that 100%. Let him go.
Let him go. I mean, you got no outs, 2 in scoring position, and somebody already reached to be an error.
The last thing you need to do is give up another run via an error.
So 2-1. And that one misses again. 3-1. On deck is Cooper Tarley.
It looks like whoever's down in the pen is ready to go.
So Cohen Harris. That one in the zone for a strike. So it's a full count now. And this can really be a very crucial out number 1 if he can get it. So 3-2 to Denny Martin. That one driven out to left field, ranging under it is Dugan. Dugan makes the catch, throws to home, and it's over Fetchikin at the backstop. So the run is going to score. So it is a sac fly for Denny Martin. That's going to bring in Cooper Tarley.
Moving over to third on that was Martin. So now 2 runs across here in the bottom of the 7th. And another run 90 feet away.
That one, first pitch strike. So 0-1 for Cooper Tarley. Stout at third. And that one just missed. 1-1. That was pretty close.
Should be 1-1. I don't know what happened. No, that's ball. Oh, okay, I see.
That one in the dirt, 2-1.
There we go.
Cohen Harris has another runner 90 feet away. That's Stout. That one is inside. Having to do a little matrix in the batter's box. So 3-1 the count. And Cohen Harris, you don't want to lose them. But then it's going to be runners at first and third again. And that one missed. So another walk for Cohen Harris. Cooper Tarley is on. That's going to bring in Aiden Willard.
And here comes Joe Radebach, and I think that's going to be it for Cohen Harris.
So Cohen Harris is going to leave the game. He is responsible for runners at first and third, and also responsible for the 2-run scoring. We'll get you the new pitcher after this.
New pitcher for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is going to be Logan Price, making his 6th appearance. Comes in with a 1-0 record, a 10.8 ERA, 5 innings of work, 5 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 4 walks against 5 strikeouts. And he inherits a jam that Jalen Ferguson will tell you all about.
Yeah. And it's like what you said. I mean, Joe Radebach had to sacrifice a couple runs to give some work for Cohen Harris. But nonetheless, now you're going to have to put in one of your aces, at least one of your reliable guys on the mound to hold this lead as he faces Aiden Willard, Stout at third, and Tarley at first. Tarley goes, the throw, and he's out at second. So Cooper Tarley gets caught stealing at second, and so that is a very well-needed out number 2.
And that changes the entire complexion of this situation with James Dixon.
So now what one runner at 90 feet away and a big out number 2 and Aiden Willard at the plate. That one is up high for a ball, 2-0.
Well, you know, you don't necessarily want the runner at third to score, but Price is kind of in a position where he can just lock down and focus on the hitter. Doesn't necessarily have to worry about that runner at third.
No. Just got to worry about not getting a pass ball as it is 3-0. Because anything behind Fetchick and Stout is on the run for home. As that one misses, so 4 pitches and a walk for Colin Price.
Now batting for the Oilers, good catcher, number 31, Brady Smith.
So Brady Smith will be the batter. Brady Smith popped out, was hit by the pitch, came around to score, and he flew out to left in his last at bat. And the first pitch is a strike. Now here's the thing: if we see Willard on the run here, should Fetchick throw him out at second?
Absolutely not.
That one just missed.
Again, you're in that situation. If there was a run, well, you wouldn't necessarily have that situation if there was just the runner at third. If there was just the runner at first, I mean, obviously you're not going to let him go. But with that runner at third, I don't think so.
That one is in the zone for a strike. 1-2, and Colin Price wants to get out of this inning with minor damage done. So here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one outside for a ball. Fetchik being able to keep it in front. So it is even. Runners at the corners now. 2-2 the count.
Price almost looked like he knew that was a ball when it left his hands. He turned his head away from the play.
As that one popped or driven out to right field, Muncie under it, and he makes the catch, and the Tarp Skunks get out of the inning, but not before 2 runs come across the score. Tarp Skunks up 7-4. We go to the top of the 8th after this.
New Olean Oilers pitcher on the mound is going to be the third baseman, Aiden Cowburn. And for Aiden, hits his 5th pitching appearance. He moves over from third base. No record, 11.57 ERA in 4 2/3 innings. And he is going to face the bottom of the order for CJ Dugan, then up top for Moore and Weeks. And Jalen Ferguson here to tell you all about it.
Yes, my last inning of work.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I might give you the 9th.
Will you?
Maybe.
That is news to me. That is music to my ears.
It's part of the intern test. You have to be able to adapt on your feet. New situations arise and things and such.
Well, that all separates from the men from the boys, is how you are able to adapt in stressful situations. Not saying that this is a stressful situation, but you have to be able to adapt. Is this still Miles?
No, this is Aiden Cowburn moving over to third from third base. I just gave the splits. See, it usually helps when both people pay attention.
So Aiden Cowburn will hit his first start of the game as he's going to face Dugan, Moore, and Weeks. First pitch is in there for a strike. And what is the splits on Cowburn?
I'll give those to you again here. They are 4th or 5th appearance. I just lost it. 5th appearance. 11.57 ERA, no record. 4 2/3 innings thrown.
He's going to face CJ Dugan, and that one misses for a ball. 2-1 to Dugan. And Tarp Skunks up by 3 runs. That one is fouled behind the dish. 2-2 the count.
We're seeing things.
Two and two. That one outside for a ball. Full count now for C.J. Dugan as Grant Moore is on deck.
Yeah, that humidity is really kicked up.
That one popped up and fouled, and we're going to do it all over again. C.J. Dugan, he walked and got himself a couple of singles. So now full count again for C.J. Dugan. That one driven out to right center field and is made. Catch is made by Cooper Tarley. And so now one gone here, top of the eighth, and we go back to the top of the lineup. It is Grant Moore.
And gave it a ride. Sounded louder off the bat than it actually was, and that humidity is keeping that ball from slicing through the air. So I don't think you're going to see anything really hit for power for the rest of this ball game.
So that's going to bring in Grant Moore. Grant Moore watches the first pitch for a ball. 1-0. And Grant Moore was hit by the pitch, came around to score, and got himself 3 pairs of strikeouts, or 3 strikeouts. Something that we don't really see out of Grant Moore. Have that one in there for a strike. Yeah, 3 strikeouts, that's usually not what we see out of Grant Moore, but nonetheless, he gets another opportunity. That one comes in and hits him. And so Grant Moore gets himself the second hit by pitch for him. That's going to bring in Eric Weeks.
Now batting for Jamestown, third baseman 6, Eric Weeks.
Eric Weeks struck out. He doubled, walked, and then grounded out to short.
1 for 3 officially on the day with an RBI.
And Eric Weeks, he is a guy who is known to drive in runs. Very successful when runners on base.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Grant Moore move in here.
A swing and a miss by Eric Weeks. You know, I got to say, Grant Moore, he could have stole there. I saw him get a pretty good jump at first.
That was just timing.
After the swing and a miss, 1-1 for Eric Weeks. Runner goes. Ball is out of the zone, and Grant Moore gets himself a steal.
And kind of saw that coming. That first pitch, just kind of getting his timing down, had it. And then on the second pitch, took off, and I think Cowbird tried to rush it to the plate.
And a swing and a miss by Eric Weeks on the 1-1, and so now it is 1-2. You know, Eric Weeks, he's got himself in a good position here, even though he is behind on the count, but he does have Grant Moore, and a single can drive him in. That one in the dirt for a ball. So the count is even at 2. Nolan Smith on deck. So 2-2 to Eric Weeks. Swing and a miss, and Eric Weeks sat down on strikes, his second of the game.
No, he stayed alive. They called that foul.
Oh, they called that foul? Okay. Yeah. So he's staying alive here with a 2-2 count. So 2-2 to Eric Weeks. Steps off is Calburn. And so due is the 2-2 counts. Tarp Skunks up 7-4 here in Bradner Stadium here in Olean, New York. And that one is fouled. And a good job by Eric Weeks to stay alive in this 2-2 count.
Nice little battle with Coburn here. And you got to wonder, you know, I never condone stealing third base with 2 outs, but with 1 out, I wouldn't mind seeing Grant Moore take off here.
Oh, Grant Moore a little aggressive at second base in the grass outside of the dirt circle at second. 2-2 pitch fouled off again as Eric Weeks. And I want to say that is the 9th pitch of the at-bat?
7th.
7th.
Yeah.
I'm 2 pitches ahead.
Yep. Gmo might be looking to go at second.
I know he wants to. I mean, look, just outside of the dirt circle at second. Swings and misses is Eric Weeks, and so he gets his second strikeout of the game, and that's going to bring in Nolan Smith.
Well, that's also going to take away the stolen base for Moore. He's not going to be able to go to third now.
It's going to take away the stolen base, and that's also going to take away the sac fly as well.
Let's see if Nolan Smith can get a hit here.
Swings and misses Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith got a pair of hit by pitches and a walk, and he is grounded out to short. So officially, he is 0 for 1. So 0-1 for Nolan Smith. Grant Moore at first, stepping off as Calburn. Bringing Grant Moore back in second. And the 0-1 finds the zone, and Nolan Smith is quickly behind 0-2. He's going to have to protect here with an 0-2 count. Dominic Costello is on deck. Or no, that's not Dominic Costello. Or it is. As the pitch is in the dirt for a ball.
Costello came in for Delanto in the 6th.
He did. He will take the place of the DH. 1-2 to Nolan Smith. Steps off. No throw to second. Nobody was covering the bag at second, so
Moore has really gotten into his head here.
he is. Hopefully he can help this at-bat here, forcing Calburn to throw balls. That one driven out to right field. That one gets down. Grant Moore rounding third. He's going to come home. Nolan Smith gets himself a double. No, he's stretching it to third. The throw into third, and it's in time. Nolan Smith tagged out at third, but nonetheless, the run does come in to score. Tarp Skunks add on. It is now 8-4. We come back to the bottom of the 8th.
8-4 going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Logan Price is back on the mound. He got out of the 7th inning jam, so that earns him 8th inning work. He will face 8, 9, 10. It'll be Hunsicker, Coburn, and Williams. And here to tell you about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Yes. As Price will start his 2nd inning of work here at the bottom of the 8th. As he's going to face Christo Hunsicker. And Colin Price. So Price versus Hunsicker here at this at-bat. That one is up high for a ball. On a pinch hitter for Christo Hunsicker, it is Coslin. That one misses for a ball. 2-0 for Coslin. That one is popped up fouled out of play. And into the street as I'm hearing some horns. Hopefully nothing happened there.
You know, how do you explain that to your insurance company?
A flying baseball. 2-1. That one misses. Now, that would be something that you would never think to see. Just driving to work and then a baseball hits the windshield. So that one misses, and so the batter goes on to first. This is going to bring in Aiden Calburn, who moves into the pitching spot.
For the Oilers, the now pitcher for Aiden Coburn.
Aiden Calburn reached via an error, flew out to right, and then walked in his last at bat. That one in the zone for a strike. So it is 0-1 the count to Calburn. Cosland at first. A modest lead at first is what you would call it. So that one is fouled at the backstop.
I think modest is definitely a good word for it. Lead foot not even off the infield dirt cutout.
Calburn is quickly behind 0-2.
Don't think you're going to see a lot of stealing here.
That one outside. Good job by Fetchick being able to keep it in front. So 0-2 or 1-2 the count. Cosland at first. Not too big of a lead. That one grounded back up to the mound. Double play, and he got it! So 1-6-3 double play. And just like that, there are two gone.
And that was a perfectly turned double play by everyone involved. Price not hurrying the throw to second, and then the relay back to JRC at first. Absolutely perfect, and a beautiful double play.
So, as we bring us to the bottom of the lineup, it is Dana Williams. That one is up high for a ball. I haven't seen too much action in the bullpen for the Tarp Skunks. I don't know. This could be Colin Price's game. That one in there for a strike. 1-1. I mean, Chase Barron and Pence had a lot of work done over the weekend. Swing and a miss is Dana Williams, and so now it is a 1-2 count.
And Price has found his rhythm.
So 1-2 for Dana Williams. And Price wants to close it. That one just missed for a ball. The count is even at 2.
You know, one of the things I like about Price is his delivery is just so smooth and easy.
It's a very easy delivery. You know, very consistent. Nothing changes. And that one fouled. And Colin Price looking for the pitch that would end the inning. So 2-2. That one up and over the letters. And now the count is full. And Colin Price, you don't want to lose the batter after being up 0-2.
It's a crucial pitch for Price right here.
That one just missed for a ball, and so Dana Williams gets himself on base, and so we roll it back up to the top of the lineup. It is Thomas Bates. Thomas Bates currently sitting 0 for 3. Grounded out to the mound, flew out to left twice, and he got on base. He came around to score as well. So with Dana Williams at first, leadoff man at the plate. That one is in the dirt for a ball. 1-0 count.
Skunks need Price to close it out right here.
That was a snap throw to first, not in time.
Can't really afford to let Price throw too many more pitches outside of the 9th inning if it's going to be his inning.
That is true. Still, I haven't seen anybody making any pitches in the bullpen, as that one is up high for a ball. 2-0.
Well, you'd think if they would warm someone up, they would warm them up in the top of the 9th inning. And if they do, it's either going to be Colin Pence or Chase Barron.
That is true. 2-0. That one outside for a ball. And again, after getting 2 outs via the double play, and now you have lost the first batter, or the previous batter, and now it's 3-0 right now. That one in the zone for a strike. Thomas Bates was making a motion to first. Did not get the ball 4 call. So 3-1. That one fouled, and now Price has fought himself back into a full count. And hopefully he can deliver the pitch that'll get the Tarp Skunks out of the bottom of the 8th.
Wow. Just getting the scores from around the PGCBL.
That one misses, and the top, Thomas Bates, is walked, and now there are 2 on with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Grant Fournier.
This is where some trouble can start to develop. That also shows how important that one extra insurance run back in the top of the 8th was.
Now Grant Fournier popped up to third, doubled, grounded out to second. And that one Grounded to third, steps on the bag at third, and the Tarp Skunks get out of the inning with no runs coming across, but 2 left on. We go to the top of the ninth. Tarp Skunks up by 4. It is 8-4 Tarp Skunks.
Eight four as we go to the top of the ninth inning for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. It'll be Dom Costello, Nate Muncy, and Tito Kiefer. And here in the closer's spot for the first time this season, Jalen Ferguson. It's a bullpen game for you. Take it away.
Oh, yeah. Called an audible, but now I'm getting the close. I mean, you might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone at this point.
Well, you know, like I said, we're building up to
The big one.
the big one on Thursday next time we're here. You're going to open.
So the first pitch misses. Calburn on the mound again for the Olean Oilers. He will face Costello, Muncy, and Kiefer. As Costello fouls it off. Costello came in with a 2 RBI. That one grounded to first, throws onto the pitcher at first, and Costello is out. That'll be the first out for Olean Oilers, and that's going to bring in the right fielder, Nate Muncy. And Nate Muncy, hit by the pitch, struck out, singled, and he also came around to score. That one is up for a ball, and Muncy ahead 1-0.
Tomorrow night, Tarp Skunks in Batavia to take on the Muck Dogs, who won their game tonight.
That one in there for a strike. 1-1 to Nate Muncy.
Or correction, are winning their game. 8-2, Batavia over the Niagara Ironbacks, bottom of the 8th.
That one in the zone for a strike. 1-2 to Nate Muncy.
Geneva beating the Niagara Falls Americans in the top of the 9th inning by a score of 15-7.
That went off the rails pretty fast.
And Elmira mercying out the Newark Pilots 17-7 in 8 innings.
The pitch to Muncy outside for a ball. Wasn't Geneva only up by 1? Wasn't it 6-5?
It was something like that. 3-2, 6-5, 6-1, half a dozen of the other.
As that one driven out to right field, coming in as Tarley, and he makes the catch. And so quickly 2 away, and that's going to bring in Tito Kiefer.
Second baseman number 1, Tito Kiefer.
So Tito Kiefer got himself a couple of walks, singled twice, as that one has popped up, and that one just out of play. So 1-1 the count. We'll have conversation at third and second. And there's a conversation.
Little tea parties happening here and there.
Yeah. As the third base coach went on to talk to Tito Kiefer.
It might be where they're all stopping for dinner. The bus broke down on the way to pick up the team today, and everyone had to drive out themselves.
That is true. A little change of events. Someone misses for a ball. 1-1.
And I was actually worried that was going to have a negative effect on some of the players here, and it doesn't appear to have.
That one in there for a strike. 1-2. You know, everyone hitched a ride with each other. You know.
The funny part is, today was the one day that I actually left before the bus.
Oh, you left centuries before the bus. Swing and a miss by Kiefer. Tag to Kiefer, and that'll do it. Tarp Skunks go down 1-2-3. Last chance for the Olean Oilers. Tarp Skunks up 8-4.
Bottom of the ninth inning here in Olean as the Tarp Skunks holding on to an 8-4 lead. Logan Price back on the mound. He will try to close this one out, and he will face 3-4-5 Stout, Martin, and Tarley. And here to close it out is Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much. And Colin Price has some work to do before he could send the team home happy. Logan Price. Man, was I calling him Colin Price?
It happens. There's no lights on in here. It's dark.
That is true.
We'll use that as an excuse. You're not wearing your sunglasses. Your superhuman strength is gone.
As that one, the first pitch hits Derek Stout, and so Olean is going to lead off the bottom of the ninth with a base runner.
Not the start you wanted here.
Oh, no. But nonetheless, there's finally going to be some action in the Tarp Skunks bullpen, like you said.
Yeah, I saw Branston Lindquist go down there with his gear.
A swing and a miss by Denny Martin. And I don't think that is Chase Barron out there. It's hard to tell.
I can't see the number.
And another swing and a miss by Denny Martin. So now Martin is quickly behind 0-2. Stout at first. And JRC at the bag covering. And a swing and a miss. 3 pitches and a strikeout. And that one, it's a big out number 1.
Absolutely huge.
So here comes Cooper Tarley.
After that one pitch hit by pitch, coming back with 3 straight fans getting blown by them, that's going to rebuild your confidence here.
Cooper Tarley at the plate. That one misses. Cooper Tarley flew out to right. He singled, came around to score, popped up to first, and then he walked in his last at bat. That one in the zone for a strike. 1-1 the count.
Man, this would be one of those situations where another nice 1-6-3 double play to end the game would be just fine by everyone on a Jamestown Tarp Skunks uniform.
That is true. So 1-1 to Tarley. In the dirt, gave Stout a look at first, no throw. So that is 2-1 the count. And I'm looking at Cooper Tarley. He's got himself quite a day. I mean, just look at his uniform. That dirt is soaked into the fibers. A swing and a miss by Tarley. And so now the count is even at 2.
Yeah, I don't think pre-soak is going to work on that.
No, that is soaked in. Even if you wash it, you're still going to see dirt.
At least it's not as bad as Georgia clay.
Yes. 2-2. And that one fouled.
Nothing.
Oh, no, that struck him out.
Oh.
Struck him out. That was swing and a miss. That was the glove of Heath Fetchick. And so now, 2 gone with Stout at first. Last out for Olean, as that's going to bring in Aiden Willard. And Weeks preparing for the ground ball to third as the first pitch in the dirt for a ball. Everybody preparing for when the ball comes to them. That one in the zone. 1-1. I don't know what it is, but the difference between this inning for Price, this inning and last inning is completely different. That one fouled, and so now Olean is down to their last strike. Tarp Skunks, what a pitcher in the bullpen just in case. But the 1-2, that one popped up and fouled. So 1-2, Stout at first. Aiden Willard at the plate. And Price. And a swing and a miss, and that'll do it. Tarp Skunks end the game. It is 8-4, and a good win for the Tarp Skunks. As well, send it to Dre Guinness for the close.
All right, the Tarp Skunks win their 4th in a row over the Olean Oilers by a final score of 8-4. They improved their record to 16-6. The Oilers fall to 10-11. Tarp Skunks will be on the road tomorrow in Batavia, 6:20 here on the Jamestown Tarp Skunks YouTube channel. For Jalen Ferguson, I'm Dre Guinness. Thanking everybody for joining us here tonight. And until tomorrow night, good night, everybody.